What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Broad Street Coverage Podcast. Today will be a full Sixers pod with Philly Sports Gang Nate, Fly Sixers Fly Samir, 76.Nation Nick, and myself, Philly Sports Today Jack. So to start things off, we're just going to talk about the last few games leading up to the All-Star break and where we think the Sixers stand and what we expect from them. So anybody want to get us started?
Obviously we beat the Jazz yesterday, which Jazz fans weren't too happy about the outcome of that game. And there's a lot of complaints from their side, especially from Donovan Mitchell. I think Rudy Gobert also had some things to say, but I think officiating was kind of bad on both sides. We obviously won it in overtime, but I think officiating was bad on both sides. Yeah.
We got screwed multiple times throughout
I
that game
think
too.
the officials were more for the Jazz than
Except for it was just magnified because it was the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I remember in the third quarter something, and Embiid got absolutely hacked.
He got hacked.
Royce O'Neal, and then Royce O'Neal hit a three on the other end, and we were down 3 at that point, and then O'Neal put him up 6. Like those momentum swings are big, and people conveniently forget the ones throughout the game. They only remember the ones at the end of the game, and the out of bounds call was the right call. It hit the ref. That's the rule.
You could see it. Hit the ref.
That's literally the rule. So I don't know what they're trying to say.
Like there was nothing else that they could really complain about. Like the Mitchell offensive foul on Simmons was a little ticky-tacky, but could have went either way, and it didn't really affect anything. Like they still ended up losing the game.
Also, the foul where they were complaining about Gobert, his arm was on Embiid when he was going up for that dunk, so they're going to call that.
And Embiid very clearly was affected
he's not gonna
by
miss
it.
A dunk
there's no way he's missing.
He may have sold it a little bit more, but it was definitely a foul.
Yeah, for sure. I think my main takeaway from that game was obviously that Embiid is just by far the MVP right now. But another takeaway was that I think Simmons should be the defensive player of the year over Gobert. If Gobert
100%.
can't show up against players like Jokic and Embiid, and Simmons consistently shows up against the top guards and just any wing in general in the league, then
I think in terms of sorry, you go.
I was just saying, if he shows up against the top guards and wings, and he can guard big men too, if need be. I just don't understand how because those woke NBA pages, they're like, oh, Rudy Gobert's rim protection is more important than anything Ben Simmons does. But it's just not. I think perimeter defense, if you can lock down one of the top, the best perimeter players in the league, in my opinion, that's more important to me than protection.
I agree with you. Sorry, do you want to go?
Well, I was just going to say, their main point is if you have an anchor for a defense, it makes everyone better, which definitely is true. But the thing with Simmons is he consistently is, like what Jack was saying, he consistently locks down the other team's best player, which affects the game a lot more than rim protection, in my opinion.
And it does help that behind him he has one of the best rim protectors in the league, too. So, our team, we have 2 elite defenders, and they both benefit each other, but I think like I said, most nights Rudy Gobert, his defensive assignment is not going to be even the second or third best player on the team. Most centers in the league are just role players who are there to grab boards and protect the rim. There's only a few elite centers, and there's probably
he's been
a boatload of elite wings and guards. So
because when Gobert, when he went up against Jokic, I don't know how much, or Jokic, it was something like that. So when Gobert is tasked against these elite big men, he isn't showing up as much. And I think in terms of versatility on defense, I definitely think Simmons is a lot more versatile. There are nights where he goes from guarding Doncic and he goes to guard Dame like a couple days later, and then he's guarding Gobert for a couple plays. So I think like he's able to guard 1 through 5, I believe, when tasked, and I think that goes a lot further than what Gobert can do. And that's not to knock on Gobert, obviously, because he's a great defender, but I think
last night also showed that Joel Embiid should also be in contention for number 2 in Defensive Player of the Year, because that pick and roll defense, anytime they pass it to Gobert, he
Dude, every
every
time.
time.
Oh,
that
yeah.
that one play, I forget if it was overtime, where like Embiid deterred Mitchell from like taking the floater, and then he got back to contest the lob to Gobert.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
just
yeah.
that was just
Mhm.
crazy good defense, and most people don't pick up on something like that, but like that is Defensive Player of the Year defense, making plays like that, like deterring the guard from taking the shot and getting back to stop the lob to Gobert, who catches every lob. I mean, that was just he put on a clinic on both ends, and it was great. It was great to watch. But I think our main concern is still the fact that we don't get up nearly enough threes to contend, because sure, the Jazz, I'm shocked that we were able to, with the Jazz shooting what? I think they were like
That was
20
crazy.
or
They
36.
shot
48%.
I'm talking about like
Excuse
before
me.
they went cold in overtime. In regulation, I remember looking, they were like 20 for 36.
It's like 56%.
Something like that. Most games, you're not going to win when you're shooting whatever we shot, and they're shooting 56% from 3. But I guess it was encouraging that we still did win, but at the same time, I think we really need to get up more threes if we want to contend with the Nets, because the Nets are going to get up a boatload of threes and they're going to make them.
Scored like 130 points on 8 threes, and there's a reason that's unheard of. That's not going to happen every night. You can't rely on that.
Exactly.
And it's worrying that Doc Rivers isn't worried about that. He's just playing it down like it's nothing. And I hope he's just not trying to like talk about it, and he actually has a plan to fix it. But it's concerning me.
Even with the poor shooting, got to be happy with the bench last night, though.
Yeah.
Like, Dwight Howard basically brought us back into that game.
I was happy with that portion, but I think that Dwight Howard bailed out the decision-making of Doc Rivers, if I'm being honest. Because, like, that's not going to happen. Dwight's not going to go on those runs by himself. He's not going to completely change the game like that, where he goes on, like, a 8-0 run with – he didn't score 8, but I forget who else scored. But he basically caused that 8-0 run or whatever it was to tie the game.
It's like an
11
11-0
or
run.
whatever it was. He caused that on offense and defense. But that, like I said, it bailed out Doc having that all-bench lineup, because – in the first half, the bench couldn't stick with the Jazz, because the Jazz, their lineups were really smart. Like they would stagger like Connolly, and they sometimes had Gobert. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then they also have a better bench than us. I mean, they have Ingles, they have Clarkson, even Niang sometimes hits shots, but I mean, he's nothing special. But still, their bench. Clarkson is better than anybody on their bench, obviously.
Favors.
Yeah, their bench worked in with the starters is a big reason why they've been so successful, because their bench, they basically just rotate shooters in and out of the lineup. And, you know, when we put in that all-bench lineup with Shake, Mike Scott, Matisse, Furkan, and Dwight Howard, it's just not going to get the job done against those teams.
Mm-hmm. And I was really surprised that Doc did that, like, for so long in the second half, because usually we don't see it much in the second half, and I was really disappointed when we started the fourth quarter with that lineup. Obviously, it ended up working out, but like you said, Dwight Howard's not doing that every night.
I think, I think that we definitely need to address some sort of bench need, but also, like, in the playoffs, we're never gonna have at least I hope we're never gonna have an all bench lineup, because, I mean, that would just get torched. Hopefully we run a rotation where we we stagger the starters, and then like the last like 7 minutes of the game, it's just the starting five.
Yeah, hopefully down the road, like Doc Rivers figures that out, and he figures out his lineups and have it addressed by then.
I'm not a fan of Ben Simmons and Dwight playing together, but I'd rather that than just go all bench.
I mean, yeah, having Simmons on the floor is a huge difference, even with Dwight. I mean, it's
Regardless,
not ideal.
who's on the court.
Yeah. I think our end to the break was solid. I mean, the Cavs game, every team's going to lose a game like that. I mean, it's just going to happen. And the Cavs always give us trouble. I mean, Garland and Sexton in transition just always seem to give us issues.
Yeah,
and
our Danny Green and Seth Curry shot like a. I don't even know. Like Seth Curry shot 1 for 13, I believe. So
yeah, Curry couldn't hit anything. I thought I didn't think Green was that bad in that game.
Oh, I'm not sure. I what he shot.
I'm looking at
either
it right
way.
now.
Seth, I mean, I'm not gonna.
I was wrong.
I'm not gonna say. Like, I'm not discouraged by Seth because he had a really good game last night. He had 14 on he only missed 2 shots.
Yeah,
but he's more inconsistent than I thought he would be.
I think that's
I definitely see.
Like, to start the year, he was really consistent, and I don't think that it's COVID. I think it was just, I guess he just regressed towards his normal average, I would say.
Yeah, like looking at it now, he's shooting 44.8% from 3 this season. He's a career 44.3% shooter. So he's just back to where like his average is pretty much every year.
Yeah, it just seems like with the way he started the year, I don't know. He's had a couple games like that where he couldn't hit anything. And it's unfortunate, but then I'll have a game like last night where we'll go 5 for 7. So I don't know. I still think that obviously he's really valuable for us. So as long as he can perform in the playoffs, we'll be fine. And Danny Green has actually been a lot better, and fans don't really give him enough credit. I know Nate says that a lot. He's the only thing I don't like about him is sometimes when he'll get the ball in the corner, like he feels like he has to shoot it, even when there's 10 seconds left. Like he'll be contested.
Like I was actually gonna bring
he'll
it
be
up.
contested, and he'll hold the ball down towards his hip, and I'll just chuck it up. It doesn't make sense to me.
He'll try to pump fake too when he doesn't need to.
Dribble around
sometimes as well.
Danny Green dribbling the ball is the least threatening thing in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well.
No, I was just gonna say, his decision making is suspect at times, but he's actually been pretty consistent from the corner, and that's really where he takes the bulk of his threes.
He's become playable down the stretch.
Yeah,
he didn't even play in the clutch last night.
He makes so many mistakes down the stretch.
He didn't play in the fourth. In the end of the fourth.
He didn't. I think
or overtime. We had Shake in.
He didn't play in overtime.
We had Shake and Matisse.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great idea to have Matisse in the clutch.
Oh yeah, I really like
purposes, obviously.
And Shake is another ball handler.
And Shake has been better recently, and he's been hitting a few more threes. He didn't hit one last night, but if we can get more consistency from him, that would be huge. I mean, we were talking about him being a 6 Man of the Year candidate, and he obviously hasn't been that. Because he's just his efficiency has just really taken a hit this year, from 3 and from 2. Like a lot of the games he'll shoot like 3 of 9, 4 of 12. If you just look at his games, it's rare that he has an efficient game.
Yeah.
So if we can just get more consistency from him, that'd be great. Furkan has been a lot better, but I mean, I don't think he was good in the regular season last year, and then he didn't even touch the floor hardly in the playoffs. So I don't really know if we can rely on him.
I'd still like to upgrade from Furkan.
I don't know.
I think
Sorry, you go.
Go ahead,
You
Samir.
go.
No, I was just saying. I think we definitely need to address the bench, and we just need something else. Whether it's another ball handler, another shooter, stretch four, anything.
I saw today. I think Wayne Ellington would probably be a good pickup. We throw his name around every season, but hopefully this is finally the year where we do end up getting him.
Yeah, Ellington would be great
because like he has a really good contract. It would be a solid pickup. Like I feel like the Pistons would take like a second rounder and maybe like Furkan or even like Poirier
He had
or
like
something.
17 today.
He's on an expiring deal.
He always kills us.
Like he's having a really good season.
I also want a point guard that can get other people's shots because Shake and Max are like the same type of player. They want to score first, and that's also where the bench unit struggles. They're just trying to go ISO and get their own shot and not looking for others. And then it kind of makes the offense a little stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Who could we, I'm trying to think who we could get.
DeLon Wright. That'd be decent.
I've heard DeLon Wright. He's actually having a pretty good year, and he did well against us in the games that we played the Pistons.
Ellington and Wright are having like career seasons, so that'd be both of them would be good pickups. If we'd somehow get both of them in a trade.
Yeah, that would be good. Kind of like the Glenn Robinson and Alec Burks trade.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I've just seen like Victor Oladipo's name being thrown around in like trade rumors and stuff like that.
Not for us, no, right?
I'm not too sure how I feel.
No,
I'm not like saying that we're tied to the rumors, but I've just seen like a bunch of articles like, oh, is it worth like acquiring Victor Oladipo? Like, is that what it takes to push us over? So I don't know.
I don't
what
think Victor Oladipo is that good, to be honest with you.
I haven't really been a fan of his. I think he's a one-year wonder. I mean, he has dealt with some injuries, but
he's pretty much just a
shot chucker at this
athleticism
point.
is taking a hit. Like when I watch games, he just will take like 2 dribbles and just pull up a contested shot. It's just I don't think he would. Like I'd honestly, I would love if the Heat threw money at Oladipo. I mean, like go ahead, you can have him.
Mm-hmm. He really has not been good since 17-18. Like since his injury.
He was killing it with it.
Let me look at the stats.
He's averaging 23 a game. And it just took a hit.
Since the 2017-2018 season, he averages 18 points on 41, 33, and 75 splits. So, I mean, I don't really think he'd make us that much better, and you'd have to trade a lot to get him.
That would he wouldn't really compliment Simmons and Embiid well either. I mean, that just wouldn't be good. I mean, I would love if it'd be funny if the Celtics traded for Oladipo.
Try to get him out.
I mean, Oladipo on the Celtics would hardly give them what they need. And I mean, I guess we can. I mean, since they're rivals, they're in the conference. We can discuss the trade rumors for the Celtics. They were linked to Jeremy Grant and Vucevic, but I don't think they're going to get either of them this trade deadline because they can only use part of their exception. And I just don't think – and Danny Ainge already said that he was going to wait until the offseason to use it. I mean, I guess he could go back, but why would you get less of it than you can use later? Especially when they're not contending this year.
Ainge or the Celtics owner even said that himself. Like he said, this team can't win a championship this year. So I doubt they even go all in on someone like Vucevic, which I don't even know if. Like Vucevic is a really good player, but he's not really what the Celtics need.
Add more.
They just need
offensive firepower, pretty much, and his scoring would take a hit. I mean, he would be like.
Yeah.
It would be nice though. I mean, you watch their games and Daniel Tice is always open. Vucevic would knock down a lot of those shots. So I mean, I guess he would add another dynamic to their offense, and it would make them better, obviously. But I mean, I don't think it would push them over the top. And then for Jeremy Grant, I just don't see why the Pistons would trade him after signing him.
Me either.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make any sense at all. I don't know. And there's a lot of Celtics fans who would think that they're getting him, but it's not going to happen.
I saw sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
This is just super random because I saw a TikTok today of this Celtics fan who was very convinced that the Celtics were getting Jeremy Grant, but then he also said, I think this would be a very good role player for the Celtics to acquire. So it's just these NBA TikTok pages are weird.
Yeah, obviously that would be, if they got Grant, that'd be nice for them, but they still wouldn't have interior defense.
What would they have to even give up for Jeremy Grant? I'm assuming it'd be.
They really
didn't
have
have
nothing
anything
to give up.
waste first round picks.
I was thinking, do you think they throw in? I know we like this guy a lot, Marcus Smart. Do you think they throw him in for that?
He's a little too valuable to them.
Yeah, he is.
Honestly, if I were them, I wouldn't even I know we joke about Marcus Smart, but I probably wouldn't even do that. I don't think.
I don't know.
Grant,
I feel like Grant.
I don't think trading.
I feel
Smart
like
for
honestly,
Grant
I think Marcus Smart could average 20 points a game with the Pistons. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
He would be inefficient while doing it.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't average 20. He would
average 16.
He would average an inefficient 16 or something like that. And so honestly, they would never trade Smart. He's just, I don't know.
He's the it factor. So he's the guy that you can count on down the stretch in those. We've seen how the Celtics are performing without Marcus Smart. So I think it's safe to say that he's a bit of an anchor on that team.
Yeah. I think the Celtics, I don't consider them a huge threat, but you never know. Kemba's been playing a lot better, and Tatum and Brown can always go off any game. So now on to the All-Star weekend. Let's talk about our guy Tobias. Do you guys think that he was snubbed?
Looking at the rosters, it's hard to make a case for him to make it over anyone else. I would have preferred him to make it over Ben, just simply because we know Ben's gonna make the All-Star team for probably most of his career. And Tobias is already what? How old's Tobias? Yeah, he doesn't really have that many years left where he's gonna still be in his prime. Who knows? He could be, but I'll always remember him as an All-Star level player.
Yeah,
especially for this season, and especially if he plays well in the playoffs. But just sucks for him because I know he.
Yeah, I know he really wanted to make it, and it is a pride thing. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be kind of cool if they expanded the rosters, but I don't know. I guess that would be unfair to people in years previous that were close and didn't make it.
If they expand the league, they should probably expand it, but I wouldn't expand it.
It would just get bubble guys like that more of an opportunity. And I saw someone say that each team, that someone came up with an idea, not that this applies to us, someone came up with an idea that each team take one bench player. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What? Can you repeat? What's the concept behind that?
They were talking about it on TNT. It was each conference gets a 6-man. I don't know. I guess, but I don't know if that would count as an All-Star appearance for them. And that would kind of be BS.
Yeah. Wait. Does this have to be an actual 6th man on it?
I think that's what they were saying. Jordan Clarkson.
No,
that's weird. So what if be Jordan Clarkson
idea.
And then?
Didn't Charles Barkley say that Jordan Clarkson should make it?
I think it was D Wade. It was one.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Barkley said it too. I think. No, I don't like that. I feel like a lot of people are saying that they should expand the rosters because there's so many players averaging 20 points. But if you really think about it, Like, obviously, this league, you can argue that this league's probably more talented than it's ever been, but at the same time, the defense is arguably the worst it's ever been in the modern era, at least. The officiating's terrible.
God.
Like, we see Trae Young scored 27 points a game
And he's just like
just
pumped
off
the
his
game to play. Like, do you guys?
just bad foul calls. Like, the talent's better, but the defense and the officiating just
Did you guys see
inflates
that,
numbers
like,
for guys.
Donovan Mitchell, like, he jumped up for a shot, then he literally, like, thrusted his hip to the side to try to get the foul. I'm not,
Yeah.
I forgot if he actually got it or not. I hope he did. Okay,
He did get it. That pissed me off.
Oh, he got
But,
it.
I mean, by rule, I guess it is a foul, so.
Yeah. That's one of the moments
Right,
last night,
'cause,
like,
like-
that we
Exactly.
could argue. We're just bad officiating.
Go ahead.
But anyway, back to the All-Stars thing, and also the 3-point era that we're in now also inflates numbers. Like,
Yeah.
the spacing's the best it's ever been. So I don't really think they should expand the rosters, but then, like, it just sucks for Tobias, though, because I know he really wanted to make it, and hopefully that motivates him, because, I mean, last night he didn't really play well until overtime, where he scored 11 of our 13, which was good to see, because I thought he would start off slow after his injury.
Yeah, he's the reason that we won that
But-
game in overtime. I mean, he was our go-to. Pretty sure he had Bojan on him,
Yeah, he was just.
and he was just taking him to work.
Oh, yeah, he was taking him all the way.
They switched
And
Royce
that's
O'Neal
just-
onto him at one point too, I think, and then he still scored on him.
Yeah, and Royce O'Neal's a good
He's
defender.
really good.
So, Tobias in overtime, that was really encouraging to see him just take over in a clutch game against a really good team.
Especially since you could tell Joel was gassed.
Yeah, that's when you could. That's what we need, somebody who can. We've always been talking about somebody else that can take over a game, and we got just that last night. And if we can get that consistently in the playoffs, then we'll be in good shape. I think we should mention Simmons and just how much better he's been this last month and a half.
Ever since the Harden rumors
Mhm.
stopped.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
He
He's been averaging like 20.
started out the year. He was averaging less than 10,
It was
right?
awful.
It was
It was
terrible.
really bad.
I couldn't.
He
defend
was
it. It was like
Well,
12.
he
of
was
wasn't
around
looking to
10, but
attack.
yeah.
He wasn't. He was
Same
just
difference.
bad. Now
Attack, he was
this
the
is-
playoffs.
this is some of the most I've ever seen him attack. Like he without hesitating.
And he's making
Yeah.
he's finishing too, which is
His
good to
body
see, because
control.
he's always been a
He does
questionable
what Giannis
finisher.
does. He gets in the paint and like stops and just lays it in, and the defender can't do anything about it because they're already falling backwards.
Yeah.
Like, on the season already, he's averaging 16.1 points, which is like around his career average. On the best true shooting of his career,
Yeah.
too.
Which
if I'm not
would be a lot
mistaken.
higher if you didn't start the year like
You-
playing like horrendous, like
Because if you guys look at the
Yeah,
numbers
that's
like
how
through
it
the
is.
months, like the first month of the season, he was averaging 13, 6 assists, and 9 boards on 48% shooting. Then the next month, he still was averaging 13, 8 assists, 7 rebounds on 55%. Then the last month, he's been averaging 21, 8 and 8 on 62% shooting. And this month, he's at 69% shooting on 18 points a game. So
It's got to be one of the best
easily.
months
Like, I
of
mean,
his
the
career.
strat-
Over
and-
Probably.
Chicago last year was pretty good.
yeah,
Like-
I was gonna say where they played the
Yeah.
Lakers and he was going off
Like,
without Embiid.
but the thing is, the difference between this month and those months is that Embiid's
Oh, yeah,
in the
the
lineup
coexist-
too,
The coexist
which is good to see.
questions whether they can coexist are long gone.
yeah, I think they're put to rest now.
Yeah, I feel like
I think-
Ben's never really had a stretch. All his good stretches have been without him, like in 2018 when Markel broke Joel's face, and then Ben took over on that stretch.
I just think it's hilarious how he's still. I think he might honestly be the most disrespected player in the league.
100%.
100%.
Like I don't think I can name a big like people treat him
Well,
like he's like terrible. Like
It's because
there's people who are honestly
Mhm.
comparing him to guys like Marcus Smart, Like, how can you?
Lonzo
Yeah, but
Ball. I
he's a
mean,
role
Lonzo's been
player.
playing
How can
good,
you
but
how can
still.
you
Yeah, I think.
compare? I just it doesn't make any sense to me. Like
Yeah.
this version
And
of Ben Simmons that we've gotten is arguably better than Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown, people in the beginning of the year we're talking about like, oh, Jaylen Brown's the best player from no.
Not even close.
I mean I probably I don't know if I'm putting him. I don't know. I might be biased, but I mean Brown has kind of regressed towards more normal.
Oh yeah, he's becoming slowly a little bit overrated in my mind.
He is a little bit.
Because
I don't know if
Well, now that
overrated is
Tatum's
the
back, he's
right
gonna lose
word
shots,
because he's
and
still having.
that's gonna.
No, he's having a really good year. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah.
But would you guys say that the gap between them has closed a lot?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's close,
obviously
I think.
since the beginning of the year.
closed a little bit.
I mean, I think I would. I don't know. It just depends on. We have to. If we can get this for the rest of the year, then
Yeah, the thing is, like, these people. Sorry.
Well, I
Okay,
think
yeah.
you're going to make
Because
the
I think
point that I was going to make. So
what
go
people
ahead.
see about like Ben Simmons is, I mean, most of these people just look at shooting and they're like, oh, if you can't shoot, you're not a good basketball player. But I think people like fail to realize how elite Ben Simmons is in every other aspect other than shooting. I mean, like his defense. I mean, he's a defensive player of the year, front runner in my mind right now. His playmaking's great. He can rebound. He basically can do everything but shoot the ball, and I think he can shoot it. I just don't think he has the confidence to do it.
well, that's the argument. Or go ahead, Nate.
Well, I was just going to say how all these people on social media, where Simmons is the most disrespected, talk about like how bad he is. But like when you see how he made the All-Star team and the coaches vote on the reserves, so you can clearly see that
Right.
NBA
People actually
coaches
get paid to analyze.
They're a
respect
bit more
him.
qualified than
And
the social media people.
yeah, and we saw tonight how LeBron picked him
And
like
even
pretty
KD
high
voted.
in
And
his
KD said he wanted
All-Star
him.
draft, and then right after that, KD goes, "Oh, I was going to pick him."
Know what
Like
they're
the people
talking
who
about.
actually are paid to analyze the game and play the game, or actually know it, like respect him as a player,
And the thing about
even
Ben
when
is
he doesn't shoot.
like we've all made the argument. Oh, we can do everything but shoot, and I mean, like, sure, that makes sense, but like, I think the most important thing is just his willingness to attack and his ability to finish at the rim and his free throw shooting. If he can do those three things at a high level, he doesn't need to shoot, especially when we have the proper spacing around him. If he can finish around the rim, make his free throws, and willingly get fouled and not shy away from contact, then he doesn't need to shoot at all.
Well, I think at some point he's going to need to start shooting because in the clutch, like we saw yesterday, like he doesn't even like do much most of the time. Like he had 17 points in like the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I know, but think
and
about
then he
it.
finished with 17 points.
Like
because he just was not scoring in the clutch.
To the level where he needs to be a guy who you want taking a jumper down the stretch, like he's far from that.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but I think at some point he's going to need to start taking those shots. Which, well, I agree though that right now, like it's not really a problem. Like he's hitting his free throws, he's having a career year at the line, like, and he's finishing probably the best he has in his career.
Yeah.
So you are making a good point. I agree with that.
I'm just not sure it's ever going to happen at this point. Like, I mean, if this play style is working for him, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like he puts in the work in the offseason and then just does nothing. He just doesn't act on it. It really doesn't make sense. But
I think
at the same time, like he'd also be doing the defense a favor by shooting in most instances. I mean, because let's assume that he shoots what? I don't know what he would shoot from three. 30%, 25%, if he actually shot them consistently. I don't know. I feel like they would welcome that.
Well, what really bothers me is like when we're blowing a team out and he just won't shoot it. Like even if he's wide open. Like that's just what I want him to do. Like start shooting more when we're blowing a team out. Like we've seen like on his 4 career attempts or like 4 career makes, I'm sorry. 2 of them were in complete blowouts. Like I just wish he did that more.
Yeah,
and the third one was garbage time. Like that was just because he had to chuck it up. We were down 6, and then the one against the Magic this year was, I think it was in the first quarter. Right?
It was like a quarter 3 or something.
Yeah,
I know there was a blowout, but I don't know if we were.
What I was referring to
blowing
was
them out
that
yet.
in the
I thought it was
time.
early into the game.
Yeah, no,
I remember
we were going
just
insane
killed
that
them from
game.
the start, but I didn't know. And then the Cavs game we won by like 30. And then the Knicks game where he hit a 3, I'm pretty sure we were down by like 15 at one point in that game. I don't know if
it was a close game. I don't remember.
I just remember
exactly
I had
though.
a honor society induction. I missed his first career 3. I was so mad.
I think the most important shot Ben should work on is a mid-range. Because imagine a pick and roll where they have to respect his jumper with
Joel.
Agree
with that.
Like that'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he can just pull up, from 15 feet. I mean, that would be even that.
Without doing that fadeaway thing he does sometimes when he's stuck.
I mean, that's kind of just his jumper. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this might just be me, but even when he's not, well, he doesn't shoot the ball, but when he's not shooting the 3-pointer or anything like that, I still think he's one of the like best, I guess, 3-point producers in the league. I mean, like you can see the difference in our 3-point shooting when Simmons is on the court versus when he's off the court. So I think like his impact in like finding people open. I mean, I remember there's this one insanely good pass. I don't know if you guys remember it, but he kind of like he threw it somewhere in the corner where only Seth could get it, where only he could catch it, and he like put it up and made it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I forget who it was against, but like it's just the little stuff like that. Like he's able to find these like pockets where people can like shoot the 3 comfortably, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think the like specific stats just a little skewed because of games where we had to play with like 7 players and people were just chucking up 3s, or like that Hawks game. But he definitely does make a huge impact on our 3-point shooting overall.
All right, so that just about wraps it up for our Sixers pod. We like where the team is at right now. We're excited to see how they perform, and we're looking forward to watching our guys in the All-Star game on Sunday. So thank you guys for listening.